Hello everyone, my name's Cliff and welcome back to my channel. This is Cliff's Dark Gems, and if you're new here for the first time, welcome. Today we're going to be doing just a little bit of channel news and a reading update for the month of March. Stay tuned. Okay everyone, just a bit of update. So far in the month of March, it's been pretty slow. I've only done 4 books. I've only read 4 books so far, and I'll possibly explain why a little bit later. But one thing I'm very happy about is that I've got to 50 books for the Read What You Own challenge. And that's Ollie from Criminally, his mastermind. And it means that I'm going to now treat myself to a mega haul. I'm going to buy books. I said early on in my channel that's what I'm going to do, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm going to do that next week sometime, possibly early next week. And now another thing I want to talk about, and this has been on the cards for me for a long time, and I saw another video last night. I think it was from Big L does booktube, and it's also, I saw it last year from another channel, but I'll give them props when I actually start this series. But I'm going to start a series of videos of my top 100 books of all time. And I'm going to try and do them on Mondays because I don't normally do any videos on Mondays. But of course my top 100 will include loads of horror, because that's pretty much at the moment what I read. But when I had a look on my Goodreads, I've read a lot when I was younger. I read a lot of classics. I read a lot of literature. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. And I hope you'll join me on that adventure. So that's going to be my top 100. And I'm going to do it as a series. So the first is going to be from 100 to 91, and then so on and so forth. So it'll be in 10 parts each week. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Okay, now to the books. As for what I'm reading right now, I haven't got very far still, but I'm busy with Scared Stiff Tales of Sex and Death, with a foreword by Clive Barker. And yeah, I'm not so much into the first story. I don't know how much I'm enjoying Ramsey Campbell. I have struggled with his writing before, but yeah, we'll see how we go. I'll keep trying. And then I'm also going to be reading from tonight Stephen King, The Outsider, as part of the All About Holly book readathon book event. And yeah, we're reading all the books that have the character Holly until we eventually get to the novel Holly. And I'm starting to like this character more and more, so I hope to find out more about her in this particular book. And I've heard very good things about The Outsider, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now on to the books. Just the 4 books that I've read. And I'm going to do them as usual in order from the ones I liked the least to the ones I liked the most. And the first one, No One Rides for Free. And I can't remember the name of the author, lady up there. And it's actually good. I read 2 female authors so far, because it is Women's Month, so happy Women's Month everyone. But yeah, this book is about a man who gets into a car with these 2 kids while the mother has gone to the toilet, has gone to the bathroom at this petrol station, at a gas station, and when she gets back, the man has got a gun to the son's head and she has to drive. And he makes her go into the desert. And on the way they pick up some other hitchhikers. Oh no, they pick up another couple, an elderly couple whose car's broken down. And I'm not going to say anything more from that. What I am going to tell you is that this is the sickest, it's an extreme novel. It's the sickest, nastiest, most disturbing novel I've ever read, novella. And I don't recommend you read this, No One Rides for Free, unless you are a hardcore fan of extreme and splatterpunk fiction. This is not an entry level into extreme. This is just freaking depraved and sick. And I also just suggest, if you do want to pick it up, even if you like extreme fiction, that you check out all the trigger warnings. And that's very, very clear. It's just absolutely, yeah, I haven't ever read anything like it. I gave it 2.5 stars because the writing's actually not that bad. You know, the way she describes things, it actually draws you in. I actually finished the book, so it wasn't terrible, the writing, but yeah, it just wasn't for me, because I like extreme fiction, but the characters were very poorly done, because it wasn't, the book wasn't written about the characters, it was just there to shock and to disgust, and yeah, in that way it actually passed with flying colours. So that is No One Rides for Free. Okay, next up we have The Dreams in the Witch House by H.P. Lovecraft. Now, this is most definitely my least favourite H.P. Lovecraft story so far. It was a bit of a mess for me. I still gave it 2.5, 3 stars I think, because it had a creepy moments, but yeah, on the whole, it just wasn't for me. And it's about the student, and he's basically in this town called Arkham, and he stays in this kind of haunted house, which is called the Witch House, because there used to be a witch living there during the Salem trials, in 1692, and she mysteriously disappeared, and no one knows what happened to her. But in the years since then, people have disappeared, kids have disappeared, people have died mysteriously, and this guy is like being haunted while he's sleeping. And yeah, it is quite creepy, and there's this definite witch, and this familiar, which is kind of creepy. I enjoyed that as well. This familiar is like this rat-like creature. But on the whole, I was kind of disappointed. At the beginning, it's just all this talk about, mathematical planes of existence and geometry, and it just comes crashing down on you right from the beginning of the story, and it just took away from everything for me. It just seemed like this story was not sloppy, but it was, and Lovecraft gets very descriptive, but you can still follow in the best stories that he's written. You can follow very clearly what is happening from page to page, and there's a definite forwarding of the plot. I didn't find it as much in the story. It was a bit messy, it was a bit disjointed, and so although I enjoyed, and actually the end is not bad, there is a little bit of a building of suspense, but it's just not the same as these other stories. So yeah, it's 3 stars for me, and that is The Dreams in the Witch House by H.P. Lovecraft. Okay, next up I read Of One Blood, or The Hidden Self by Pauline Hopkins, African-American author, and I absolutely was surprised by how much I loved this book. 4 stars. And it's about a mixed race man. This is a very simplistic way of putting it. It's about a mixed race man in London, and he gets opportunity to travel to Ethiopia as part of an archaeological thing, and yeah, and it's really all about just getting rich. It's like a treasure hunt, and he denies the black side of him, and he goes to Ethiopia, and his world changes when he's there, and he meets, I'm not even going to go there, you need to read it for yourselves. He discovers incredible things about himself, incredible things about mankind. Yeah, they'd be all of one blood, but it's just a very interesting book. There's a lot of different genres. It's very much a mixed genre. In one hand, it almost has a gothic feel. It's almost like a weird ghost story going on. Then there's a little bit of almost science fiction. There's it's almost like a pulp adventure. I don't know, that's just some of it. And yeah, it's all over the place. So at times it could get a bit confusing, and people don't like that. But I found the biggest thing that brought it all together and made it work for me was the author's prose. It is gorgeous. In many ways it's like dreamlike. It's just gorgeous. It draws you in. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed the story, and it's 4 stars for me, and it's highly recommended. And that is Of One Blood. Okay everyone, and finally we got The Damnation Game by Clive Barker. Now this book was a reread for me. When I was a teen I gave it 5 stars. On the reread I gave it 4 stars because it was a lot more slow burn than I remember. It's very slow in parts, especially the middle part. It seems to be a lot more filler than what I remember. And also compared to a lot of his other longer novels, I just found it very, very slow. However, it's still a very, very good story. If you're patient enough to get through all of that filler, there's a good reward for you at the end. And yeah, it's about a thief, and it's a thief and a gambler. And at the beginning of the novel, it's basically at the end of World War II, and it's in Poland, and Poland is an absolute wreck. And this gambler, this thief, goes through the streets because he hears about this gambler who never loses, who never lost a card game, and he's determined to find this person and play cards with him. And he does, and he wins. And his winnings include power and fame and fortune and all those good things. So then you shoot forward, and it's much later, and this guy's rich and he's wealthy, one of the most powerful people around, but he slows himself in and he's terrified because he knows that he basically screwed this other guy over. Not so much a guy, known as the last European, and the question is, we never really learn, is he a demon? Well, maybe you do. Is he a demon? Is he a man? Is he a devil? Is he some kind of creature? But anyway, he's coming back for this guy, and he's going to get what's coming to him. So yeah, it's actually a very good story. I love the characters. They're all very kind of grey areas. You don't have any very good or very bad characters. But the best thing about this book, and the best thing about all Clive Barker books, is the prose. As the way that he writes, it is so gorgeous, and it is so descriptive, and some of the horror imagery is just so grotesque. Maybe not as grotesque as some of the stuff I mentioned in the first book, but it's just, yeah, he goes to places that other authors, he treads where other authors fear to tread, and he just does such a brilliant job. And I know that a lot of people prefer his shorter fiction because they find most of his bigger fiction more padded, a lot of unnecessary padding. But yeah, I really enjoy it, and I would recommend it because if you've got the patience to get through all of that other stuff and get to the crux of the story, this is a great horror novel. So yeah, that's The Damnation Game. Let's say 4.5, rounded up to 4. Okay everyone, so that's my reading updates for March. Hope you enjoy that. I'm going to be giving you something on Monday or Tuesday about the week of weird. I'm going to be also going shopping so I can choose some weird books, choose some weird short stories, whatever. I'm definitely looking forward to next week. But yeah, if you enjoy my content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me out. And until next time, take care of yourself. Keep those pages turning, and cheers.